down and took the women. A leap of faith, a foot on the ground to wait for you. When they say go, I will say no. When they say go, I will say.
That's so nuts. You guys still have those hooks to like lift shit up.
You don't have that?
Fuck no.
What I actually wanted to talk to you about in this interview was about your tattoos.
Oh, okay, right on.
Because I think you have some pretty interesting tattoos.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Can I maybe ask you to take off like your shirt or
Yeah.
something? So we can like see that on video?
Yeah. I'm not very sensual in doing this at all. I apologize. Just kind of.
Oh, that looks like a pretty new one.
Oh yeah, I just got this this one done and like kind of cleaned up. This is my father's. I'll get that for you real quick. That's disgusting. This is my father's album, Cream City. It's the cover of it. He released it. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Much better than myself. He released it in 1977, and this is without a doubt like the reason that I am so enamored with music is because his involvement with music and sort of it surrounded me for however long I was a child in development.
There's only 15 minutes of fun. Yet I will stare at the eclipse and still believe it's so well.
Do you have any other tattoos that are based on music?
No, not really. I mean, this is something I wrote when I was like 17 or something. So I went and got it tattooed because I thought it meant a lot.
Okay.
So I did that.
What does it mean?
It says, take my picture, draw my face, make me over with purple's grace. It was basically like judging something before you actually know it, but this to me was a little more specific. So.
Alright,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Thanks.
Is that the first tattoo you ever got?
No, my first tattoo I was 14 and I got it on my stomach and then it sucked.
Can you see it?
Yeah, well, it covered it up.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's all gone now, yeah. But yeah, it was on my stomach. It was on both sides, and I just thought, I don't know, I was 14, you know. I was like, whatever. I'm
How can you get a tattoo when you're 14?
In where I'm from, in Inglewood, you know, you can kind of do a lot of things you shouldn't be doing at that age. So,
Okay.
I just kind of took part in that, and
Well, what did you get? What was it?
it said it was. It said faith and trust, and there was like this shitty like star. It was a big tattoo because I didn't know any better, you know. And then I got older, and I'm like, fuck, like I want like to get my stomach tattooed, the whole thing. I want to get tattooed. And I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know what to do. So I just covered it up with this big black like structure. It's on my stomach now.
You have like a big tattoo here that says "Can't Sweet."
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and well, what I found was that it's like it's about like cancer and like the joyful, like still being able to have joy and laughter even though you have cancer. Like
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
positive message.
Yeah.
And I read that you have been misdiagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
Could you tell me this story?
Yeah. When my mother had me, she had been going through treatment for leukemia, and so I was very sick. I mean, they told her that either she'd probably have to have an abortion in order for her to keep the treatment and to do whatever, and she denied it and just bared through it and had me. And when I was born, I was pretty prone to being ill because she was pretty sick when she was when I was developing through the gestation. And then as I got older and older, I would get ailments and get sick fairly often. It was a little bit more than the common cold. Anything from like pneumonia to meningitis I actually caught at one point. And then following meningitis, when I was 19, I was in the hospital and they couldn't tell me what it was. They said that something was attacking my system and it was keeping me very weak and white blood cell count was very low. And then they took me into a room and I spoke with the oncologist and she told me that I needed to prepare myself for the possibility of having cancer. And then
How old were you then?
19, yeah. And then so I went back to the hospital and I waited, and then they told me, oh, we don't know, and we're gonna have to wait 2 weeks for these test results. And for those 2 weeks, they wanted to keep me in the hospital. And I remember one night just like sitting in the hospital wondering to myself, even if I do have cancer, whether I do or don't, this frame of mind that I'm in, like being upset and feeling like defeated by it, it's not gonna help me whatsoever. So I got up and I ejected myself from the hospital. I was like, I'm gonna leave, and they told me I couldn't, which is complete bullshit. Like, if I want to leave, I can leave. So I left, and I tried to just sort of shape my frame of mind. And in those 2 weeks, I got like a lot of things got really, really intense and very heavy for me. Yeah. But in the end, like just before, you know, finding out the results, I was, you know, I found a really, really weird, or I guess sort of unexpected sense of happiness and complacency and contentment with just life, you know, understanding that I could very well be gone tomorrow. Like, there's really no promise in tomorrow, and so I should try my fucking hardest to enjoy today and everything that I've experienced prior to today. Yeah. And yeah, man, I went in and they kept telling me they didn't know what it was, and then I came back and they didn't know, and then a few weeks later, they came through and they're like, you know, we don't know what it was, but it's not cancer, you're okay, and this and that. So I was elated, to say the least. And then, you know, they told me I had to keep coming back for checkups, and so far I've been okay. You know, maybe like one minor scare, but everything's been good. Like, everything's been really good. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's cool.
But when did you decide to take that tattoo?
Right after I got out of the hospital. When I found, like, when I was sitting in the hospital bed one night, the second of like 3 nights I was there, I was looking up at the roof and I was just wondering, a lot of things, like what this all means, whether it was the universe, whether it was God, whether it was nothing, whether it was just coincidence, whatever it is. I didn't know how to explain how I was feeling or why it had happened to me. Yeah. And in that moment, when I was most confused, and when, again, like in my darkest moments, is actually when I was like granted the chance to understand that life is so fragile, and that's why it's so beautiful. You know, life can be gone so quickly. That's why you should live it, you know, so with a sense of urgency and embrace it every moment. And I guess all the irony, like finding all my answers while waiting to see if I did have cancer, was why I got the tattoo. And that's actually why it's spelled the way it's spelled, and it's a mirrored image, so I can see it in the mirror. So it starts here, and then it goes all the way, I guess, the other side of my collar. Don't you cry, mama, we'll be okay. Don't you cry, mama, we'll be okay. Yeah. Now I want to make sure that when I'm living for myself and in the now, like, I want to make sure that I'm doing something for someone other than myself. You know what I mean? I can do all I want, and you can be as selfish as you want, and you can enjoy as much as you want for yourself, but it's not as enjoyable if you can't share it with someone, you know?
What made you realize that?
Funny enough is my failed relationships with women, actually. Yeah, just like having sort of broken it off with a couple people in the last few years, and understanding myself as a big part of the problem that I thought was everyone else. You know, like, you know, she did this, or this isn't working, or touring, or no, man, it's just about you. It's just about, you know, how much you want to put in, how much you can put in, and understanding, you know, what it's worth for you and for others, you know. It's very like give and take, you know, and people always want to take and take and take, but no one seems to want to give anymore. So I want to just make sure that I give as much as I can while doing these things for myself. I definitely think that my actions on stage have a lot to do with how I'm perceived, and I completely understand it, and completely I accept that. You know, I accept that.
But you're a different person on stage, aren't you?
Certainly, yeah, I'm a much different person. All those things that are done on stage are my sort of absolving or dispelling of things that I haven't been able to say. Like, I've never been able to talk about them. So on stage, it's like when I feel the most human and the most appropriate to act that way.
So you're actually more yourself when you're on stage.
In some fashions, yeah.
Back to your tattoos. What's your favorite one?
My favorite tattoo. That's a good question. Everything.
Can we see it?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So it's that's the Great Western Form right here, and that was where my old tattoos used to be. This is an old Bill Blue Band lyric. This is "Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City." That's my spirit animal. like a wolf. I got a little.
What's your spirit? What's your spirit animal?
Yeah, it's just like. No, it's actually that was a jest, but yeah, no, it's just like like an animal that you feel would represent you, like your soul. And I always tell people that I think a wolf would be pretty good. They have like this camaraderie, this really strong sense of camaraderie, which is really cool to me. But they are at the same time like they can be a little volatile. So yeah, just I'd like to kick it with my homies, and we're not gonna eat anyone, but we'll definitely rum in packs.
All right. Well, the last question is, do you have any future plans for tattoos? What would it be?
Yeah, actually, you guys can't see, but there's a really handsome gentleman behind the camera. I was gonna get his his face tattooed onto my face, but first things first, I have to remove the beard. So maybe after that, I'll be doing that. Yeah.
Swallow